Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode 43 of Wrestling with Brent. Got a lot to talk about in this episode. Several WWE wrestlers, some of them really big stars got released yesterday. Also, the AEW review ratings are in from Wednesday night, and they're really big. Uh, yep, so let's get into it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go over like some wrestling news, and then I'm gonna go over my Then I'm going to circle back and do the shows last to bring a lot of shows and the AEW shows, and I'll talk about the matches. And I'll just give my brief thoughts on, both companies and a little bit of NXT and MLW talk. I'm not going to review those matches or anything. We'll just, give brief statements, opinions on those. All right, so here we go. Like I said, big WWE news came out yesterday. Uh, Samoa Joe got released. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, formerly the Iconics, both of them are released. Peyton Royce is married to Shawn Spears, who's in AEW, so maybe she'll go there. She's got talent. Um, her and Billy Kay both improved over the years. I really liked them when I watched them on Total Divas. Seem like really nice people. Uh, so I'm a fan of them. They're just nice people, seems like. Was watching Joe Corner on his Out of Nowhere show earlier, and he was saying how Peyton Royce is the better wrestler, but Billy Kay is the better entertainer, and I agree with Joe on that. That's the best way to describe him. Um, yep. Also, Mickey James got released. Uh, so did Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is engaged to Zack Ryder. Yep. Chelsea Green also won Tough Enough. Or she didn't win Tough Enough, but she was like a finalist on Tough Enough. She wanted to be in WWE for years and tried out, 3 or 4 times. Thought it was dirty how they did her. She went to NXT, got caught up on the main roster, got hurt immediately, sat out and healed up. Right when she was healed up, ready to come back and wrestle, I was like, oh, let's release. Thought that was kind of dirty. Uh, WWE also released Tucker, formerly of Heavy Machinery for Otis. So Otis' former tag partner is gone. Uh, a Lucha House Party member got released, Kalisto. He used to be the leader of the Lucha House Party. Um, Bo Dallas. Yes, Bo Dallas, the guy that was really good in NXT and, had some notable runs on the main roster. He's also the real brother of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. And he also dates Liv Morgan in real life. I believe they're engaged and they have live on a farm together. I watched some of Liv Morgan's uh, YouTube channel. It's really good. Uh, so yes, Bo Dallas is also gone. Mojo Riley, who was pretty popular in NXT at one time. Uh, Never done much on the main roster. He got his start. Rob Gronkowski, basically got him hired in WWE. So Bo Dallas and Mojo Rawley both go from WWE. And Wesley Blake. Uh, Wesley Blake used to be in a tag team with Buddy Murphy in NXT. And he was also in The Forgotten Sons with Jackson Riker, I believe, at one point. Uh, in NXT, uh, Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy had a nice tag team run in NXT at one point. Actually had a really good title run and was actually a really good tag team. Yep. So this is a lot of people feeling bad for those releases. I'm really not. I think all this talent is going to be okay, especially some of the bigger names. I'm really happy they've actually got released from WWE. Um, I'd like to see them go somewhere else and do well and be treated better, because they deserve better, in my opinion. Uh, WWE didn't really use them right, in my opinion, and hadn't really used them in a long time anyway. With Samoa Joe, they moved him to the commentator desk, over concussion or something, a year or so ago, and he was the lead commentator. And they had him sitting out in the rain, WrestleMania, commentating, and Now they fired him. He had been saying for months, here lately, for weeks, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle, clear me, I want to wrestle. Of course, WWE didn't want to clear him, didn't want him wrestling, so they fired him. Uh, Now, I loved Samoa Joe. I was really happy when he went to NXT. Uh, he did good in NXT. Did really good. He did some things where he injured some people, but it happens. He got to the main roster and he looked like he would do pretty good. Got some opportunities and then he would get hurt or he injured some people. Or a feud wouldn't take off. Kind of ran into some bad luck. Also, he did, injure some people, on the main roster. And he got that rep, or maybe he's injured people. Maybe he needs to dial it back, tone it down a little bit, and not be so aggressive. And it seems like the last few times he wrestled, he did do that. So, but he's a great wrestler. He's one of my favorites. I've always been a big Samoa Joe fan. I would love to see him. He's liable to go back to Impact, but I hope not because I don't watch Impact. I would love to see him in AEW. He'd be a huge pickup in AEW or Ring of Honor. Before he went to NXT and WWE, this last time he was, after he left Impact, he went to Ring of Honor, for a short little bit and was really good there. And the Ring of Honor crowd, I remember really, really took to him and really got behind him, and he had some good matches in Ring of Honor. Uh, so I hope Samoa Joe goes to AEW Ring of Honor. I'd love to see him somewhere. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Super talented. Good on promos. He's got a lot of cool moves. Very athletic for his size. Super talented guy, and just always been a big fan of his. Uh, Hope Billy Kay lands somewhere. Um, I like Peyton Royce. I hope she lands somewhere. I hope she goes to AEW with her husband, Sean Spears. That could be interesting. She could be like maybe a side manager for the Pinnacle. Side manager for the Pinnacle. That could be interesting. So she'd be right there with her husband. Uh, Mickey James also, I think, should be signed by AEW. Yes, she's older, but she got hurt. They was pretty much burying her in WWE in her last run. Uh, then she got hurt. Tore ACL in this last run, so she tore ACL, and then they just wasn't using her. Um, so I still think she's got something left. Should be a really big boost for AEW's women's division, or Ring of Honor's women's division for that matter. She's a big name, popular name. I think she could have some really good matches in AEW with some of the women to really help coach the women too and train the women there in AEW. And I think she could be a big asset to the AEW women's division, in my opinion. Also, another person I think that AEW side is Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's one of my favorite female wrestlers. Became a big fan of hers when I saw her, on Tough Enough. I couldn't believe when she got eliminated early on. She was one of my favorites on there. And then come to find out, when she finally made it to NXT, I never just put it together, but I've actually saw her wrestle, for a long time. And Impact, when I watched a little bit of Impact, a few years ago, and she had like a crazy bride type character, and she did a really good job there. So that's funny how I didn't remember her from there, but yes, I'm a big fan of her. She's got a lot of talent. She's a beautiful girl. AEW women's division would also be a big boost with her picking up her. Uh, she could have some good matches with some of the women there. Uh, Somebody like a match between her and Britt Baker. Somebody, Jake DeMarco said, they was in a popular tag team together on the on the Indies, Fire and Ice, I believe is what they were called. Uh, so that could be a possibility in AEW. Chelsea Green and Peyton Royce back in the tag team. So that's interesting. If not, I think Chelsea Green could, have maybe a good match with Big Swole, or have a good match with Sheeta, or have a good match with Nyla Rose. Match before what I think would be good. Match with Chris Statlander, Shayna. You know, Same with Mickey James. That applies to her as well. Uh, I see nothing but positives bringing Samoa Joe, Peyton, and Mickey James and Chelsea, all four of those people in. Uh, Tucker, I never really thought much of Tucker. He was okay. He was more of a tag team wrestler. Since they split him up from Otis, he was never really the same. He's a talented guy, has power, got a cool look. Had a cool look at one time. Best of luck to him. Hope he finds, he'll probably wrestle somewhere again soon. I hope he gets work somewhere. Uh, I always personally liked Kalisto. I always felt the Lucha House Party was greatly underutilized. Um, they're luchadors. I just love that Mexican style of wrestling. I think Kalisto could be a boost, somewhere. Could CMLL or AAA, Conan's division, or even in MLW. Uh, yep, so I hope Kalisto finds work, somewhere. Bo Dallas is an interesting character. I could see him, interesting wrestler. I could see him maybe going to AEW, maybe Ring of Honor, or even Impact. Uh, some guy who's got talent, um, got charisma, can cut a promo, can put on good matches. So that's gonna be interesting to see where he goes. Mojo Rawley, and I was a fan of his in NXT, and I liked him. Uh, he's got a personality. He's got charisma. Got a good look. He's big and strong, but I don't know. Uh, hope he ends up somewhere. He could do something. I just don't really know on him. Uh, he's hard to say. Wesley Blake, had talent at one time. He was good at one time. I can see him wrestling somewhere again soon. So we'll just have to see. So I hope I can see all them wrestlers soon. Somewhere else. Yep. So yep, that's WWE. They do some crazy stuff. Uh, Now, just on to a little bit of more news. Uh, there's rumor or reports going on that Aleister Black is being close to making his return, and he's going to have some kind of gothic gimmick. I just what I've heard. Jake DeMarco mentioned it on Joe's show on Out of Nowhere earlier, which I suggest you go check out. Joe Quinn Show on YouTube. He always puts out great stuff. Him and Jake DeMarco do a good job, and they're good guys. Yeah. So hopefully Aleister Black's coming back. Hopefully they don't ruin him again. Uh, I agree with Joe Cronin. They should have let him keep his music. Vince should have paid for his music and his whole confidence and all. And that music fit him perfectly. Uh, he just hadn't been the same about it. So I hope whatever they try to do with him, they did the thing with his eye patch and him blind in one eye, and it didn't take off. So hopefully he figures something out, and when he comes back. So yep. Remember, Aleister Black could be returning eventually or soon. So that's going to be interesting. I have to see, like to see what he does. Also, it's been reported, and I've heard this, and I had a feeling, but I wasn't 100% sure, but it had been reported. It had come out. WWE Creative said Becky Lynch was supposed to be at WrestleMania. Um, that they had stuff set up. Vince canceled it at the last minute. Uh, That's why I believe it was the spot when the Bella twins came out and attacked Bailey. That was supposed to be Becky Lynch to come out to make a big return and attack Bailey. Uh, but at the last minute, Vince changed it and said, I'm gonna wait," which is dumb. Which seems like something Vince would do now, just something just dumb. Why would you do that? Uh, First big match with fans. It's WrestleMania. First time back with fans. To WrestleMania. It'd be the perfect time to have Becky Lynch return. But of course, Vince, let's change it. Stupid. I don't know. It's one of those Vince eye rolling ideas, just dumb. Yep. So hopefully Becky Lynch is back soon. So I'm excited to see her back. I've missed Becky Lynch. She's beautiful and I like her and she's a good wrestler and I miss her whole man character and all that. She was just really killing it before, she got pregnant. Except for, lately the white creator was giving her those terrible things to say and just making her character dumb. So hopefully she comes back, the more the bad kick butt character the man that she was. Yep. So hope she comes back soon. Also, it's been reported Maranello is set to call the former NXT announcer who I loved in NXT as an announcer. He's a great announcer, one of my favorite announcers in wrestling. Uh, He's actually coming back to call wrestling for Impact at the big pay per view coming up with Kenny's having a big match, and he's going to call that pay per view Rebellion, I believe is what it's called. So, yep, there's that. Uh, Also, it's been reported by Eva Marie herself. Eva Marie has returned, said she's returning to WWE. She's come back to WWE and she's waiting for the right time for her return. So that's interesting. Uh, yep. Also, it come out yesterday. Ivelisse is said to not be returned to AEW. She claims she's still under contract, but some people around say she's not going to be welcomed back to AEW. Apparently, she's been getting into it recently with the some of the trainers over stuff, and then it come out. As yesterday she got into it with trainers, with some of the trainers in AEW. Uh, and she did a cryptic, cryptic post on Twitter. Don't believe everything you see. I stick up for myself and I stick up for myself and I call things out when I see something wrong, and then I get fired or I get the blame. Uh, my personal opinion, from what I've heard, seems like she's does that card everywhere she's been. She's always complained. She complained when she was in NXT or WWE. Complained about coaches there and got fired from there. She pulled that stunt in AEW with Thunder Rosa, where she was no selling Thunder Rosa during a match on live TV and made Thunder Rosa look bad. We didn't want to work with Thunder Rosa during a match and got Thunder Rosa mad, and they traded shots during the match. And afterwards, Evilise, blamed it all on Thunder Rosa and threw Thunder Rosa under the bus. Yep, it was just very unprofessional by Evilise. Uh, I believe she had worked at Impact, a time or two, got fired from there. She was big in Lucha Underground. She wasn't happy there, got fired from there, arguing with people, arguing with wrestlers, arguing with coaches. Uh, you know. So I just hope, maybe she has an attitude problem. I don't know her personally. Maybe she just has a bad attitude and just very, stuck in her own ways. If so, I wish she'd get out of that habit because she's very talented and always been a fan of hers. Uh, best of luck to her. Hope she finds happiness and maybe hope she lands back on her feet somewhere. But it's not looking good for her career as a whole. Seems like to me AEW was her last resort, last chance at a really big wrestling gig. Just because when you get such a bad reputation from all these different companies, nobody wants to touch you. They just don't. Um, and when you get so many of these type of allegations or this type of people claiming you're this type of person, uh, you're hard to work with, get along with. Uh, 9 times out of 10, when you hear from so many different companies, so many different people, if she's not getting along with the AW talent and coaches, Dustin Rhodes, Cody, QT, she's got to be tough to get along with. Uh, because it seems like that'd be the perfect place for somebody like her. Because they could know how to talk to them and, let them be themselves and let them do what they want to do and, let them be wrestlers, be talents, be who they want to be. Tony Khan seems like a good boss to work for, and for even it's not to even to find fault with them and not get along with them and bump heads with them. It's just really just kind of surprising. So hopefully, not looking good for Ivelisse. Hope she turns it around and hope she lands on her feet somewhere. So best of luck to her. Yep. Also, I've told you I've heard recently there's a rumor Ronda Rousey's returning. Uh, she had said somewhere in a podcast or something recently that she would like to face, several of the women wrestlers in WWE. Uh, so that's what Jake DeMarco said earlier on Joe Cronin's Out of Nowhere show that he had heard on a podcast or something the other day. I read it somewhere. So that could be interesting. I'm a big Ronda Rousey fan. I love her. She's one of my favorite athletes, one of my favorites, one of my heroes. A big fan of her. She's beautiful and just so awesome. And she kicks butt. She's just awesome. Uh, so I hope to see her back soon. So, yep. Uh, just some more little wrestling news really quick, and then I'm going to go into the shows. Forgive me if I said it already, but I'll just repeat it again. AEW had a really big rating Wednesday night, 1.2 million views, so that's huge for them. Um, Yep. So good for them. Also, I want to say really quickly before I go into the show reviews, NXT had their big show that moved to Tuesday night. Their first big night on this new night, and it was a great show. I really loved it. I thought everything on there was great. I give it an 8 out of 10. It was very good. Also, we saw the debut of Taya Valkyrie. She now goes by Frankie something in NXT. I'm not sure how to feel about her character. It's kind of old top Richie stuck up character carrying a dog. I'm not sure how I feel about her character, but I'm a fan of her. She's beautiful and she's a really good wrestler. And I hope they give her a chance in the next T to shine. And really hope they don't make her look stupid and let her do it or do it. Let her put on good wrestling matches. Um, Yep. Also, Karen Cross cut a killer promo. As you all know, he's back being the new NXT champion. He beat Finn Balor, at Takeover. So, yep. Cut a really good promo. Uh, Also, Kushida in a surprise upset beat El Gato del Fantasma. It was his first loss in NXT. Kushida is the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. I was genuinely shocked, and I was happy for him. He deserved the title, and he deserved a big push in NXT. Kushida. Love Kushida. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Such talent. He was so great in New Japan. Great wrestler. So, yep. Yep. Also, I watched MLW earlier today from yesterday. It was good as well. So it was a good show. I liked it. Now, let's really quickly get into the shows, and I'll give thoughts on it, some thoughts on Ring of Honor and AEW, and then I'll wrap it up. So I'm going to try to be as quick as possible. Sorry for the long-winded explanation and stuff. I'm just trying to cover everything good, make sure I go over everything, don't miss anything. Uh, all right, so here we go. First, the Ring of Honor show from Saturday I thought was good. I liked it. Uh, they in this episode they revisit a rivalry. Rocky Romero against Delirious in a Pure Rules match. They've had a rivalry for 10 or 20 years or so. It was a very good match. Slow match, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. Um, I'm a fan of Delirious whenever I've seen him wrestle. He's also like a head booker for Ring of Honor. He used to be with Cornette back when Cornette was booking for Ring of Honor. His real name's Hunter Johnston. He's a talented guy. Been wrestling for years. Really knows wrestling. Uh, I'm a big fan of Rocky Romero. I love him in New Japan. I like his announcing name. I like his rap. He raps in real life and does a good job. He's just super talented guy. Always puts on good, exciting matches. He's a great wrestler, in my opinion. One of my favorites. One of my favorite wrestlers. Him and Delirious had a really good Pure Rules match. Uh, Rocky Romero applied the Diablo armbar and Delirious tapped out. So Rocky Romero got the win. It was a 14-minute, 51-second long match. So it was a very good match. I really liked it. So good match. Before the match, did a really good video package, explaining their rivalry. And it was just really good. Another really good video package by Ring of Honor. Caprice Coleman and Ring of Honor, on the calls again. They did a great job. So a really good match. I really liked it. So then they showed like a preview for the main event for next week on Ring of Honor TV. I believe it's next week. Um, yes. So Mark Briscoe versus Jay Briscoe. The Briscoe brothers gonna be facing each other in the main event, so that should be a really great match. Yep, that should be awesome. Lord the Briscoes together and single. I'm a big fan of both. I'm a fan of Jay more, but I like Mark too. They're just so great, so believable, and just so real. Seems like they're just awesome. Their matches, the way they wrestle, their promos, everything, their look, just everything. They're just great. Um, Next, we get pre-match comments from Mexican Squad. Jay Leaf and Jonathan Gresham. Quinn McKay's backstage with them. Yep. So now we leads to the match. Mexican Squad match. Mexican Squads, Bandito and Flamita versus the Foundation, Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham. It was a 20-minute time limit on the match. I thought it was a very good match. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Um, Towards the end of the match, Flamito slipped on the bottom rope and it looked as if he was going to help Bandito, but Flamito taunted him. Bandito ended up tapping out. It was a 13-minute and 45-second match. After the match, Flamita left Bandito in the ring and he headed to the back. So, yep. Yep. So, Lipo and Gresham got the win. There continues. The Mexican squad look like it's completely broken up. So, yep. This was a good match. So this was a good match. Really good Ring of Honor show. Solid Ring of Honor show. I give it a 6 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10 with all the competitors involved. Good show. I liked it. So next week I said, it's the 500th episode of Ring of Honor special episode. Jay Briscoe versus Mark Briscoe. Also, they're going to have a pure title match. Uh, Jonathan Gresham versus Jay Lethal, so that should be good. Yep, so another really good Ring of Honor show. Can't wait for next week's show. So, yep, Ring of Honor was very good. 6.5 out of 10. Yep, so, all right, now on to AEW. Uh, I want to say, too, fans online and everything wasn't really into this AEW show. I got a lot of people saying it was media core. I do not understand that at all. I really love this show. The whole thing was good. The promos, the vignettes, video packages, uh, the skits, whatever you want to call them, the beatdowns, the interferences, the matches, everything just was perfect. I thought everything, with the whole show paced well. Just a great show. In my opinion, I give the show an 8 out of 10. It was a very good show. I loved it. Mike Tyson, I think, did a really good job. The best he looked in AW, he did a really cool job. The Enforcer, early on in the show, he did there was a backstage segment video package where MJF and Tyson had a talk. MJF basically was trying to bribe Tyson to call the match in the middle or help the Pinnacle out, kind of turn the blind eye. Uh, and let the Pinnacle cheat and do what they do, and Tyson just kind of stand and just let it happen. Uh, he gave Tyson a blank check and said, write any amount you want, I'll make it happen. I got plenty of money. Tyson took it. He said, just think about it, later on and let me know before the main event. Tyson took it, looked at it, ripped it up, and put it in his mouth, swallowed it, and spit it out in his face. I thought that was hilarious. Yep. Now, I want to say too, and I'm going to just give some random thoughts. A lot of people didn't like the Young Bucks match. From what I saw online, they don't like the Young Bucks' new heel turn, this new heel characters. Some of them didn't like the new outfits. I like the new heel characters. I like the new heel turns. Listen, I'm tired of talking people always bashing the Young Bucks. I know a lot of people don't like them or whatever. I'm personally a fan of the Young Bucks. I've always liked them. Yes, they do seem like they do, especially here their turn switch heel and face a lot, but who cares? I still like them. Uh, I think they're actually would be better as heels, but I like them as baby faces. The Young Bucks, say what you want to. Yes, their style, they're flip floppy, they fly a lot. A lot of their matches are 100 miles an hour, luchador style, Mexican style wrestling, aerial aerial stuff, acrobatic stuff, gymnast stuff, what Jim Craig calls. I love that type of stuff. That's my favorite kind of wrestling. The lucha libre Mexican style, than the hardcore style of wrestling. I'd much rather see the Mexican style, the aerial style, the hardcore style over the old timey wrestling. Even though I like old timey wrestling too, any day of the week. That's just my personal opinion. It's what I prefer. Uh, and my thing about the Young Bucks is, say if the Young Bucks for some new character and all, they just said, you know what, we're gonna listen to all the fans and all the critics in the cornet and all them people that hate us so bad. We're just going to be complete jerks and we're just going to be major heels. We're going to work on our promos, try to do better on our acting. And when it comes to our wrestling, we're going to change our style completely. We're not going to do any more flips. We're going to be traditional tag team. We're going to do like FTR does. No flips, just fists, how they used to do in NXT. And then they did the same thing when they went to WWE and WWE made them boring, and the rival just got boring after a while. And that old style can be kind of boring. The drift style can be boring after a while. And that's my thing. So the Young Bucks gave in to everybody and did what all the haters and the critics say. So they changed their style and go traditional, go old school style way of tag teaming. After a while, people are going to go, is this what the Young Bucks now? What's wrong with them? Why did they do that? Young Bucks ain't the same anymore. Young Bucks need to go back to doing that, some of that flying. At least they do fly around a little bit, do some of that little bit of the aerial stuff. Don't put it abandon it. Well, they did. They did the aerial stuff, and you said it's too boring. They need to be like everybody else, be traditional. Now you said that's boring. What do you expect? So if they was to switch it and go traditional, people would say they're boring. You know, uh, people was playing at first when AEW started because they said, "Why aren't the Young Bucks are tag team champions already? Why are they, doing this and doing that?" And you know, but they were giving other people opportunity. But yet, if they would have put the titles on themselves, directly since it started, they was, "Oh, you're the EVPs and you're being selfish and greedy." Same thing Cody and Kenny did. They didn't want to put the titles on them, themselves right away. Kenny said, "I want to book myself and be just kind of, and that's people say, why are they doing Kenny O'Malley? He said he wanted to be booked. He didn't want to take opportunities away from others. So I just don't understand all the hate with Young Bucks. Uh, People just got to just come to the grips. The Young Bucks are going to wrestle and do the way they're going to wrestle. The Young Bucks are going to fly around. They're going to do the flippy stuff. That's what they do. That's who they are. That's their style. That's the Young Bucks. Fans, people, Cornette, even Cornette. I love Cornette. Cornette always talks about them all the time. I always disses the Young Bucks. That's just their style. That's what they do. That's how they're gonna be. You just, Young Bucks are the Young Bucks. That's who they are. That's their style. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. And they've been turning heel and face a lot lately, but you know, they're trying to find out what they do to themselves. They're trying to please everybody else. What they're doing. You know, so I'm just a fan of them. They put on great matches, no matter who they work with. It seems like. Uh, so people just need to stop all the Young Bucks criticism just all the time, every week. It's all they talk about. Find something else to talk about, complain about. That's just my opinion. Uh, Also, really quick on AEW, I just wanted to just for a little bit, 2 points. A lot of people always complain about AEW having too many factions. What's wrong with having too many factions? New Japan has a lot of factions. Even though some people say they don't, you can make the argument that they don't. They have 4 or 5, but it's still a lot. WWE doesn't have a lot of factions. Just about everybody and their grandma is either just in a small tag team or they're all singles and everybody's spread out and nobody knows what to do and WWE don't use half people. I agree with what the Young Buck said recently in an interview that Drake DeMarco mentioned it and touched on it. He said Nick Jackson, I believe, said they do a lot of factions because that's what they did in Japan. They like it, and for them, they say it's easier to put people and stuff and help people set up. And Jake DeMarco said he didn't agree with that. That it don't make sense to him. Him and Joe said they don't like all those factions, but I like it. Uh, you know, I like all the factions. Everybody has somewhere. Where everybody's at. And I agree with the Young Bucks, and I like the Japan style of all the factions. Uh, Japan has God, the Bullet Club, 3 or 4 variations of that. You have Chaos, Will Ospreay's new group, the Empire, Los Ingobernales, Suzuki Goon. You know, uh, so for AEW to have facts to do kind of like New Japan style, and really, AEW, I just want to say this too. A lot of people don't realize AEW has a lot of more New Japan things in it. The most people realize. It's another thing a lot of people have been complaining about. On videos and people are tired of AEW and all the matches being long, all the matches being competitive. What's wrong with being competitive? New Japan does a strong style. That's how they wrestle. Every match in New Japan's competitive. There's always frustration. What's wrong with being that style? People complaining, about Young Bucks. Why does every match have to be a 20-minute match with the Young Bucks? Why does everybody have to push the limit to the tag champions that's supposed to, squash people, not get beat, not beat people, not take forever to beat so many people so many times. My point is, I hate squash matches. I always have. Squash matches suck. That's my opinion. I've never liked them. They're dumb. Uh, I treat real wrestling, just my personal opinion. I know most people don't agree with me. People say, oh, wrestling's fake. I think wrestling more of a sport than people think it is and realize it should be treated as a sport. Uh, every wrestler that's wrestling should be competitive. If you want to be successful, be competitive. Uh, you shouldn't want to have a squash match every match. Whether you're the champion or not a champion, you shouldn't want to have a squash match at every match. You know, I'm tired of that crap, people saying that mess. Why can't AEW be more competitive? Why can't all the wrestlers, even the wrestlers who are not as popular, not over, or not well known to people, people don't think they're good. Why can't they be more competitive? That's the point of wrestling and being an athlete. Everybody should want to be competitive. You should want to have good matches. Every wrestler in AEW should have the best match on the card. You should want to outdo each other every match after match. You don't want to squash, you know? Uh, Now, I know back in 1998, 1999, whenever Goldberg had his big streak run where he just come out and just murdering people, match the last 2 3 minutes, it was interesting, having that 100 and some old run and him eventually losing, getting screwed up by the NWO and outsiders and all that, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. And then it was all a waste, and, the legacy of Goldberg kind of got ruined after that because, WWE, gave him longer matches and, you know. But if you really think on it now, if anybody tries to do that now, it'd be really just kind of dumb when you really stop and think about it. What's the point of, say a champion, say Kenny Omega? That's another thing. Why does Kenny Omega always have to have his 20-minute long matches? Kenny Omega, he should be beating people in 5 and 10 minutes, and he should just be short now. They have quick squash matches. That's how you build him up. He's the champion. No, that's wrong. That's stupid. Be different. It's okay to be different. Kenny Omega should go in there and put on 20-minute match. He's the champion for a reason. Kenny Omega shouldn't be going there in a match and say, well, since I'm the champion, I'm facing Marco Stunt tonight. I'm going to just go in there and have a 2-minute match, hit a couple knee shots, 2-minute match, and 2 minutes hit the one ring angel. Once free, it's over with. What's the point? It's dumb. Squash matches are so dumb. Now, AEW had a couple squash matches, last night, and they made more sense. The Anthony Go-Go, the boxer, making his debut doing a little punch, and it was over within 2 minutes. And Chris Statlander, had her first match back, and, she had pretty much a squash match. She got the win, she looked good. Both of those squash matches served their purpose. But I just hate squash matches. The way WWE does a lot of their matches, they have screwy finishes, a disqualification. They'll have a really good match and they'll have a screwy finish, disqualification. Somebody interfere or disqualification or hit somebody in the nuts and it's over with. They'll hype the match up and it gets over with like that. Or they, you have daggone stupid, crazy Nia Jax in a match against, somebody you don't even know the name of, or, somebody like that. And, Nia Jax will win in 2 3 minutes and look so dominant, and she'll hit a leg drop and a Samoan drop, and, she pins in 3 minutes and looks so dominant. Ooh, she's so great. And the next minute, she loses, and the whole thing, she gets ruined. It's just dumb. I just hate squash matches. So I get tired of people bashing at that wanting to be competitive. I love the New Japan Pro, how everybody's having a good long match. I like that. Who cares how long the match is? If it's good, who cares? Uh, Same thing. I want to say this about other sports too. Everybody should want to be competitive. You don't see baseball teams, being not want to be competitive, especially champions. You don't see people like baseball champions, say for instance, Derek Jeter, for the New York Yankees, best sports franchise of all time, 26, 27 world championships. Derek Jeter has, 5 or 6 rings at least? 6 for each hand, 1 for each hand. What's Jericho supposed to, what's, Derek Jeter supposed to say, get to the World Series, just say, here you go, I don't want to win this World Series. Here, you can have my ring. You know it. You deserve it. I have already so many rings. I don't deserve another one. No, you don't do that. You're an athlete. You're supposed to want to be the best and be the champion. That's going to lead to my next little talk. Charlotte Flair also made, just real quick, and I'm gonna go back on the AEW show. I forgot to mention this earlier. Charlotte Flair made her big return Monday night on Raw. Uh, and she cut a really good promo. In fact, the best promo she ever cut. You know, it was another thing people will always complain about Charlotte, say she buries people and she takes opportunities away from other people. That's not true. She's put over lots of people, especially here lately over the last couple of years. She doesn't win every single match she's into. She doesn't mind putting people over. Uh, the only reason why people hate her so much is because she wins a lot, like Cena used to. Because after a while, you know, I would get mad because it seemed like Cena always won, but I still like Cena, you know. And, you know, he's supposed to want to win. She said, who wouldn't want those opportunities? She's right. Uh, you're supposed to want to win. She's the best women's wrestler they have by a long shot. It's not even close. Uh, she's the best wrestler, so she puts on really good matches. So she should win a lot of the time. She's the only reason why people hate Charlotte Flair so much is because she's her last name is Ric Flair. That's the only reason why. If her last name wasn't Flair, or if she had something like a health scare, you know, had cancer or something, just as an example, I hope she never does, but uh, if she had something like a major, something bad happen to her in real life, the fans would like her then. Uh, the fans are just haters and just stupid. They just always pick people to hate. Uh, it's like same thing. People hating Roman Reigns, all something out of nowhere, just to hate Roman Reigns because they said he got opportunities, got matches all the time. Then when Roman Reigns got cancer, everybody started pulling for him. The people that hated him loved him. Then, you know. So people just need to. I just get tired of all this people hating on Charlotte Flair, people hating Charlotte. I'm tired of it. Uh, People just need to stop it with that. And I also thought she looked beautiful too. And a lot of people, that's another thing online, people say she looks like a man and she's got a lot of plastic surgery done. I don't think she's got any work done. I think she's beautiful. I love Charlotte Flair, just a big fan of her. She's like a nice person too outside the ring. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Also, I just want to say too really quick about WWE and I'll get back to AEW and, you know. Uh, Also, really quick at WWE, Alexa Bliss explained why she turned on the Fiend at WrestleMania. Said she did turn on the Fiend. Said she discovered the darkness when she was with the Fiend. She realized she didn't need Bray anymore. She could be darker and she's better without Bray. She could do a whole lot better without him. Uh, she's basically has her own character now, and basically has powers and has her own doll now called Lily. So she did a really good promo. She does a really good job with this role, whatever it is. So it could be good. Hopefully she has goes back to having actual matches and doesn't do all the stupid hokey phony stuff with the fireballs and the pulling stuff down from the ceiling and humping people when she pins them. Hopefully she goes back to having her actual matches but still has this new character. She cuts creepy promos and has the weird dolls and just does weird things. Hope she doesn't use the black goo. Hope she goes back to wrestling like she used to, but still keep the creepy cool character some way. So I hope it works out. I'm optimistic about it. I think it could work out if they do it right. Uh, yep. Also, I just want to admit too, really quickly, I really liked this Raw. A lot of people didn't. I really liked it. I thought it's the best Raw they've had in a good long time. It seems like, but it was still a kind of a way, still a major downer. Probably the worst Raw after Mania of all time because you used to have all the big returns and stuff you wouldn't expect. The only the turns they really had was Charlotte, and she was come back eventually, so that wasn't really a return. And then Return of the War Raiders, which is good. I'm a big fan of the Viking Raiders, War Raiders, War Machine, Scott Hansen and Eric Rowe, Raymond Rowe. Big fan of them. But I wouldn't qualify that as a big return. Uh, yep. So WWE just really dropped the ball. A lot of it was just rematches for Mania and the week before on Raw. So eh. Yep, that's all. But anyway, back to AEW. Like I said, I thought this was a great show. I really loved it. The first match, my opinion, the opening match of the night was an instant classic, in my opinion. I loved it. It was a 10-star match. We had two instant classic 10-star matches. Um, in this card tonight, in my opinion. It was the Young Bucks tag team title match against Death Triangle Pac and Ray Phoenix. It was a very good match. I really loved it. I actually liked the Young Bucks' new gear. Um, and I just want to say quickly too, for those that don't watch Being the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks did a really good promo on the Being the Elite earlier this week, where Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks explained the Young Bucks' latest heel turn, and I think it did really good. I wish they would have showed it on uh, Dynamite, showed the whole skit so people can understand, because I found it really helped the Young Bucks explain this new character heel turn. But, for those that got time to go look at it, pull up the latest BT episode and check it out. You can even fast forward it, if you don't care about anything else on BT. Fast forward it right towards the end and watch it when they're all sitting down talking. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks is very good. I think it would help go over explaining things a lot. But yeah, just a little small suggestion. Uh, but yes, a great match. I loved it. Uh, Don Callis comes out and he's also on commentary and does a great job on commentary. Him and Excalibur and Tony Schiavone and go back and Jim Marcel go back cracking on each other. It's pretty funny. Don Callis is just so awesome. The more I hear him and see him, he's just great. I just love Don Callis. He's so funny. Uh, does a great job. And so believable too. Uh, So this way, this was a great match. Young Bucks still did some aerial stuff. Pocket Ray did some really good stuff. Ray Phoenix did some really good stuff. He just always the stuff he does in the in ring is just amazing. He just amazes me every time I see him wrestle. Just like wow, I've never seen that before. He's just awesome. Him and Young Bucks matches and anything Ray Phoenix always has me going ooh and ah and wow and just really into the match or matches. Anytime they're involved, the Young Bucks and Pac for that matter. Ray Phoenix and Penta. Uh, they're just such exciting wrestlers. So this was a great match. Really liked it. There's a couple times I thought Ray Phoenix and Pac was going to get the upset win and win the big tag titles, but Young Bucks held on and got the win. Bucks eventually got a super double kick, a double super kick, and got the win. So Young Bucks won. I liked how in the match Young Bucks were making fun of themselves, doing their old poses and stuff. I thought that was funny. Of course, everybody online crapped on it. I'm sure Cornette's going to crap on it. Love Cornette, but he always craps on the Young Bucks. He craps on minor wrestling as a whole pretty much. He really does. Um, but I liked it. I thought it was funny them making fun of themselves. Uh, so after the match, Young Bucks celebrate with Chaos on the outside. Then we get a video backstage of Marvez with the Dark Order Hangman Page. Page says he's going to get egg rolls for everybody. Silver does a little thing where he's rehabbing his shoulder with the help of Dark Order. Silver did make some funny faces and made some little funny little jokes. It was funny. Silver's always great and funny on screen. Anything with John Silver's just funny and hilarious. I love John Silver's personality. He's like a really fun, great guy. Yep. This was a cool little skit. I liked it. Commercial break. It was nothing special, but nothing, horrible or anything. It was good. Commercial break. Back from the commercial. Marvez with the inner circle and Mike Tyson. Uh, Jericho said he's changed their way. Inner circle's changed their ways. Jericho called the people he owed an apology to. Said he called the people he owed an apology to first. The first one was Mike Tyson. Jericho says he expects special treatment. Uh, Tyson says the best man will win. Uh, he will take no sides and shake the hands. Uh, Red Velvet then makes her entrance. Jade Cargill's out next. They both look beautiful. Both have good entrances. Red Velvet's so beautiful. Jade Cargill looked hot. I thought this was a really good match. I thought Jade Cargill did good. A lot of people said they didn't think she did do good. But I liked the match. I thought it was very good. I thought Jade Cargill did a really good job. Red Velvet did a really good job. Seemed like she's really improved. Every time she runs, it seems like she improves more and more. I think this was the best Red Velvet match I've ever seen her have. So I thought it was a very good match. There was a couple times I thought Red Velvet was going to get the upset win, but Jade Cargill, eventually got her got her glam slam, Beth Phoenix like slam, in on Red Velvet. That what she does the hammer lock and chicken wing and picks up and slams her, face down. So Jade Cargill got the win and beat Red Velvet. What I thought was a very competitive women's match, one of the best AEW women's matches they've ever had, in my opinion. I really liked it, so really good match. Cargill hit the grand slam. She calls it jaded. So Cargill, Jake Coco got the win over Red Velvet. Very good match. Very good match performance. I really liked it. Uh, Next, Tony Schiavone is backstage with Britt Baker. Um, Baker cut a promo and goes for the ranking system. Baker said she should be elevated to number two. She's been wrestling a lot on Dark and Dark Elevation. Uh, and there you can find Silver Miles everyone's turn says she's going to work her way up the rankings and eventually become the champion. So it's a good little promo. I liked it. Britt Baker always kills it on promos, has been for a long time since she turned heel. Next, we have the debut of Anthony Go-Go. He makes his entrance, being accompanied by the Factory, QT Marshall, and New Faction. I like Anthony Go-Go. He's commentated a lot on Dark, guest commentated a lot on Dark. For those who don't know who he is, he's a former Olympic boxing champion, a gold medalist, or I think a silver medalist. He's just a really great boxer. Apparently, Excalibur said before the match, during the match or on the match, his debut match here on Dynamite, first ever wrestling match. Uh, he was a former really good boxer, champion boxer, and had to retire because of multiple eye injuries because boxing career short, and he got into wrestling and really wanted to know how to wrestle, so AEW signed him, and he's been training under Cody and QT and Dustin, ever since AEW first got started. So, him being trained by the rest, he's eventually going to be good. I actually like how you use boxing gimmick. You got to start somewhere. Yes, it's a little dumb and corny how he comes in there, throwing body shots. But I thought in this case it worked good. He knocked him out, in 1 or 2 minutes when the match started. He had a really good, looked like a really good body shot. It didn't look fake phony to me. And the guy dropped and sold it well, like it really killed him. So I thought, it served its purpose. I hope he doesn't always continue to use this little boxing character gimmick and just go in and throw boxing punches during a pro wrestling match. Hopefully they'll let him wrestle more and, do more pro wrestling instead of just boxing. I hope you don't go the Mark Merrow route because, Mark Merrow his career never took off except, him being a, former real life boxer playing that put into his character during the attitude era. It just never took off with him, Mark Merrow. Uh, so, and again, I like this little squash little match. I like him to go. I thought he looked good, looked in shape, looked tough, looked big. So I thought the liver shot looked good and looked cool. And I liked the way he done it and the way the other guy sold it. So, to me it looked legit. So I liked it. Yep. So after that match, we got a commercial break. We get our video package from Miro. Miro said he hasn't seen Kip since that Arcade Anarchy. He is moving on with without him. So, good little disappointment by Miro. Didn't really say much. I don't know, whether it's leaving, him and Kip. Maybe I think him and Kip's going to have a rivalry to what I predicted what's going to happen, months ago. So we'll see. Yep. But anyways, it was short. Uh, Next, you had Justin Roberts introducing Mike Tyson's special enforcer. The Pinnacle's music playing and brought out FTR. Judas rang out and Chris Jericho accompanied by Sammy Guevara. The ref told Total to leave ringside. So this was a good match. I was actually surprised Chris Jericho and them got the win. But yep, Chris Jericho got the win. He got the Judas effect in eventually. Tyson, I thought, did a good job of the being the enforcer. He missed a couple spots where he didn't get some interference, but when he saw some interference, and he said, he followed the rules, do this. He got in some of the wrestlers' faces and told them no, them telling them no, and he acted like a believable celebrity, guest referee enforcer. I thought he did a good job. I liked when he finally got involved on the outside. When he got into people's faces on the outside, he eventually, I think it was Sean Spears. I forget who did it too, but he knocked one of the Pinnacle out with a right hook, and it looked like he just knocked him out. And the punch looked so good, and the guy just fell over. Thought it was really cool. Yep. So it was a good match. I liked it. Jekyll did a good job. Both teams, both factions, the Pinnacle, and Inner Circle both looked good. It was a good match. I liked it. Good match. I liked it. Yep. And Tyson, I thought did a good job. Yep. So I really liked it. So good match and good job by Tyson. So after that, Marvez is backstage with Omega and the Elite. Callis tells Marvez to hit the bridge. Callis said, when you think you've seen it all, you haven't seen anything when the Bucks joined the fold. It was the end of the story. It was the beginning. Omega said they never changed. They just got sick of doing what they wanted them to do. Where they go, the goal will follow. And Jackson said they're the best tag team in the world. Kelly said, be prepared to be surprised again. Kelly didn't super kick cameraman. A lot of people online didn't like this promo, didn't like Kelly super kicking cameraman. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good promo. Yep, so we'll see. So I liked it. I thought it was good. Next, we got a Thunder Rosa video package, which was awesome. Saying she wants both the AEW and NWA women's titles. I hope she does that. Love Thunder Rosa. She's amazing. If you watch this video, Thunder Rosa, you know I'm a big fan of yours. Love you, Thunder Rosa. You're great. You're awesome. Hope you get signed with AEW soon. Hope to see you wrestle again soon. Love you, Thunder Rosa. You're great and amazing. Hope to meet you in person one day. You know, I've talked to you a couple times on social media. Love you, Thunder Rosa. You're awesome. Yep, so good promo by Thunder Rosa. Yep. Uh, Now we got the Chris Statlander return match, making her first singles match in AEW. Her big return from ACL injury, ACL surgery. She's been out for a year or so. So Chris Statlander comes out with the best friends, Orange Cassidy and Trent, against Amber Nova. Amber Nova's already in the ring. Amber Nova was making her AEW Dynamite debut. Chris Statlander beat her. It was a really quick match. Squash match. Chris Statlander got the win. Got a really cool looking Supernova Power Driver, her finisher for the victory. So Chris Statlander got a first win back in AEW. So great job for her. I liked it. And I thought Emma was pretty and she did a good job, wrestling. I liked what I saw of her. And Chris Statlander did a really good job and she looked beautiful. And I love Chris Statlander. I like her entrance, character, and all that. It's a little dumb, but I like it. I just love Chris Statlander. I think she's awesome. She looked beautiful. So good match. I liked it. Good job by Chris Statlander. Now we have Dasha backstage with Team Taz. Dasha looked beautiful as always. Did a good job. Taz said they had been waiting a week from Christian to answer their offer. Stark says they shouldn't have to wait. Taz says both Stark and Cage should wait backstage while they get an answer from Christian Cage. So I liked it. It was cool little segment. Then we went to a commercial break. Back from commercial, Tony Schiavone's in the ring. He brings out Christian Cage. Eventually, Christian says Team Taz is a bit of a dumpster fire. Makes fun of Taz's height. Says he came to win AEW Win Championship. Taz comes out, and says, Christian said his answer was no. Taz comes out and calls Christian, cusses at him, calls Christian ungrateful and disrespectful. Powerhouse Hobbs stepped in the ring with Christian. They brawl. Hobbs attacked Christian quickly. Hobbs slammed Christian's head into a steel steps eventually. Team Taz leaves Christian laying. So, looks like this is all set up to, this little angle was all set up for, Team Taz to have that next feud. Christian to have his next feud in AEW to be with Team Taz. Yep, so that'll be good. Christian versus Team Taz, so that should be good. I liked the segment and everything. I liked it. The little story they told. They've been telling in a couple weeks. I liked it. So I liked this whole thing. I thought it was good. Yep. And Will Hobbs looked like a beast. I just like his look, and he's a good little wrestler. Got a lot of talent. Him and Christian's gonna have a really good rap through them two. I think it should be really good. Or any of that from Team Taz against Christian should be really good for that matter. Yep, so I liked it. And I liked how they're still talking and still, on Dark and Dark Elevation and still on Dynamite and, the way Taz is acting, the way Brian Cage is acting and Ricky Starks is acting, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks are still at odds with each other and I like that's cool. I like how they keep, throwing that in there. Next, we got a video package for Tay Conti versus Sheeta. Yep, and it was a good video package. Now we have the main event, Matt Hardy. The main event against Darby Allin. It was TNT Championship match. Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy. It was a false cut anywhere, anything goes. False cut anywhere, no holds barred match. All kinds of weapons were used. Matt Hardy and Darby fought backstage, and Matt Hardy set up a table and put Darby on a table and did a leg drop through the ladder, through the table on Darby. Darby kicked out. Eventually, Matt Hardy did the Twist of Fate on the stage, part of the stage, and with a chair attached to Darby's throat, and I thought that was it. A lot of people did, I think. And Darby still kicked out. I couldn't believe he kicked out of that. It was a great match, very hardcore. I loved it. In my opinion, it was an instant classic, 10 out of 10 match. One of my favorite matches, one of the best matches I've ever seen ever. I loved it. I was on the edge of my seat hollering the whole match. I was really ooh and ah the whole match. Uh, I thought Matt Hardy did a great job. He really brought it to Darby. I liked the close calls and the uh, counters some moves and the way they used the weapons on each other and how they wanted each other, kept on top of each other during the match. I really liked it. I'm glad also they stayed safe doing it. I loved the ending when Darby Allin climbed the when everybody announced him and climbed the top of the stage and jumped off of it and did the coffin drop and got the victory. So great win. I love Matt Hardy. I'd have been okay if he's champ, but I'm glad Darby gets to retain. I love Darby Allin. You know, he's my favorite AEW wrestler. He's one of my favorites. He's just so great. Darby Allin gets better and better every time I see him. It seems like whether he's doing promos or him doing promos, just standing or just his character, him just standing or his video packages or his vignettes or promos, his in-ring work. He just does a great job. Darby Allin's just great every time you see him. It's like he just improves week after week. Yep, so he's just great. Matt Hardy still got it to be as old as he is. Matt Hardy can still put on great matches for anybody. Can still bring the best out of his opponent. Can elevate anybody. Doesn't matter who it is. Matt Hardy's still great. Uh, you know, big fan of his. Matt Hardy's been one of my favorites. I love him and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy's a legend. It's a great job. Also, and I thought this match really brought out more of Matt Hardy's, new heel character with his whole faction, the Hardy family compound, and I thought Matt Hardy did a really good job, His last couple times here in AEW, this hardcore style, the stuff he's had with Civic Guevara, he's had some injuries and bad luck here lately, but thankfully for this match, he finally had a hardcore match without injuries, and he did a really good job. So Matt Hardy proved in this match he can still go. It's a very good match. I thought it was a 10-star match, one of my favorite matches I've ever seen. Instant classic. I loved it. And I didn't mind the beatdown at the end while all the factions started drawing with each other and fighting with each other. It kind of cut up from last week and what goes on in Dark Elevation. So I understood it. I understood Dark Order come out and getting involved and even the numbers up for Darby. Um, understood the Matt Hardy, the rest of his group coming out, compounding it was being chaotic at ringside, during the match while the match was still going on. I understood it was a false count one match, hardcore match, best anything goes. Of course, they're going to have some kind of brawls. I liked how they keep everybody involved. A lot of people don't, but I like how Tony tries to put everybody on the show and keep everybody involved. Instead of WWE, people disappear for weeks and months at a time you never see again. I felt like at least Tony's trying to put somebody somewhere, even if it's just putting them in a beatdown or, putting them, on TV somewhere, even just showing them backstage, or showing them on TV, whatever. Like they showed some people in the crowd, Butcher, one of the Nine Inch Nails having a funny look on his face. I thought that was funny. Uh, Yep, so I don't mind the beatdown at the end. I thought it was cool. I liked how they went off the air. I loved this whole match. I loved everything about it. It was a great match. I loved the brutality. I loved the selling. I loved the crazy stuff Darby did, crazy stuff Matt did, and I loved the ending. I thought the ending was perfect. Darby climbing up off top of the on top of the stage up the side and jumping off of the set with the coffin drop and getting the three perfect end of the match. Great way to do it. Great match. Instant classic. One of my all-time favorite matches. One of the best matches I've ever seen on Dynamite. One of the best AEW matches ever. In my opinion, it was a 10-star match. Same with the Young Bucks match. That was an instant classic. The Young Bucks and Death Triangle match for the titles. That was an instant classic as well, in my opinion. One of the best matches I've ever seen. One of the favorite matches I've ever seen. One of the best AEW matches ever. One of the best matches ever on Dynamite. Another 10-star match. So great match. All in all, in my opinion, a great show. I don't know how people say this show was mediocre and it was mediocre. I don't. People are crazy or on pills or on drugs or just fed up, just tired of wrestling. Maybe they're just burnt out so much wrestling. Here letting that thing going on. That they just can't appreciate a really good show or know a good show when they see it. I thought this show was great. One of the best AEW shows they've ever done. One of the best Dynamite shows ever. Just a great show. One of the best shows of the year by far of any wrestling show. Just a great show. I loved it. So a great show, 8 out of 10. And like I said, NXT was very good too. It was an 8 out of 10 show, best show NXT done in a long time. So again, 8 out show. I love this show. I don't care what none of the haters say. 8 out of 10. Rating for the show for me. I loved it. Can't wait for next week. And next week is supposed to have a big card too. Uh, And like I said, great job at NXT two, 8 out of 10 for NXT two. So yep, and also I picked their viewers and quiz this week too, NXT, and so did AEW. Like I said, they got over a million some views. So great for both companies and great for AEW. Uh, Yep. All right. So I hope this review hadn't been too long. I just wanted to go everything, and hope I hadn't kept you guys too long. I was trying to go everything and make sure I didn't miss anything. So I hope you guys liked it. I'll be back very soon for another review coming up soon. Next week. So happy wrestling. Everybody stay safe. See you next time. Bye.